What's up, math scholars and math haters? This is Mr. W. Today we're going to tackle question 38 in the 7th grade math questions that North Carolina released this past school year. We're just supposed to find the value of y, our variable, we don't know what it is yet, when negative 5 equals y minus 7 divided by 9. Now, in order to do a problem like this, there's two... Edit this part out while I'm writing. Big skills that we're going to need. Actually, let me just start all that over. Now, in order to do a problem like this, there's the two big skills that we're going to need, I'm sorry this is so large, are solving two-step equations, and then also we're going to have to deal with subtracting integers as part of solving this problem. So let's go ahead and get started by thinking about this as a two-step equation, and whenever I see a two-step equation, I'm going to think to myself, okay, I see that we're subtracting 7 and dividing 9. So that tells me that if I see divide, at some point I'm going to have to do the opposite of that and multiply by 9. And if I see minus 7, that tells me that at some point I'm going to have to do the opposite of that and add 7, but in what order? And that's when I remember my socks and shoes. And every other two-step equation question that I've done, I have said that we can think of something like this as like putting on socks and putting on shoes. And when you get home, and if you want to take off your shoes and your socks, you have to do it in that order. You have to go outside in. So y is like our feet in this example. It's wearing socks, that's a minus 7, and then that whole thing is being divided by 9, and those would be our shoes. So in order to get rid of our shoes, in order to take our shoes off, we have to get rid of dividing by 9, and we get rid of dividing by multiplying. So I'm going to multiply by 9 on the right side, multiply by 9 on the left side. I'm doing the same thing to both sides of the equation, so I'm being fair. Dividing by 9 and multiplying by 9 go away. So I know that y minus 7, whatever y is, when I subtract 7 from it, it equals, and then negative 5 times positive 9 equals negative 45. So something minus 7 equals negative 45, and to get here, I have to add 7. I see minus 7, I have to add 7. I add 7 to the left side as well. I'm doing the same thing to both sides and being fair. Minus 7 and plus 7 go away. And now I have negative 45 plus 7, and I have to use some rules of integers in order to figure out what that is. Basically, negative 45 plus 7 is going to make me, since these have opposite signs, we're adding a positive number and a negative number, I need to start by figuring out what 45 minus 7 is, the difference between the absolute values of these two integers. 45 minus 7, whether I do that in my calculator or in my head, is going to give me 38. And now, to know whether this 38 is positive 38 or negative 38, I'm going to look back at my absolute values. I will find the number with the bigger absolute value, so in this case that's 45, because 45 has a bigger just number part than 7. Despite what signs are on top of them. I will look for the sign that goes with 45. That's a negative, so I know that my answer is going to be negative. So negative 45 plus 7 equals negative 38. Think of this like you had, you owed your friend $45, and you paid back $7. The amount you owe goes down by $7, but you haven't paid him back enough yet, so you still owe $38. That's where this negative 38 comes from, and that goes with choice C. So our answer is C.